Hi, my name is Eddie and I'm a librarian here at Warren Newport Public Library. Today I'm very excited to be talking about The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin. This is one of the most celebrated books of 2020 as well as 2021. It was one of my favorite pandemic reads and I'm very excited to be talking about it today. N.K. Jemisin wrote this, a brilliant blend of magical realism, epic fantasy, and a reclaiming of Lovecraftian horror into this genre blending legend unto its own. It's a POV fantasy, so it's written from the perspective of 6 different people, and it's one of the most clever ways I've seen somebody tell a story in a POV fashion. The introduction starts out with a young, unnamed black man in New York City who represents the avatar of New York City itself. It's a city that's in a crisis point where it can come into existence unto its own, to be a self-sustaining culture, to protect the families and communities amongst itself. Or it can become a crisis point where the city slides into non-existence. As the avatar of New York City himself becomes this crisis point, 5 other avatars of New York City wake up, and all of them are representative of the 5 boroughs themselves. You have Manny, who is the representative of Manhattan. You have Brooklyn, who is the representative of Brooklyn. You have Bronca, who is the representative of the Bronx. Padmini, who is the representative of Queens, and Ashling, who is the representative of Long Island. It's just a brilliant way to tell the story, to show how each of the boroughs is different, represented by one person with unique experiences. The book is fast-paced, it's exciting, it's hard to put down. It tells a lot about the world that we live in from a slightly augmented lens, and that shows how some of the trials and struggles that people have gone through in the last 2 or 3 years specifically. N.K. Jemisin has been praised for how well she encompasses that in a fantasy lens. It tells us how we can look at that differently, and how we can look at that in the scope of the history and the future of our country, but with a fantastical twist. The crisis point becomes when an ancient evil in the Lovecraftian tradition wakes up, but you see it as a recognizable feature of our modern times, as racism, as oppression, as ignorance, as people stuck in situations that are untenable to them with no way out. The 5 avatars of New York City come together in epic fashion as the POV characters merge, and it's just one of the most exciting and revealing books I've ever read. If you're interested, it's here available at Warren Newport Public Library under Jemisin N.K. in Science Fiction and Fantasy. It's also available as an ebook on Libby or an e-audio book with an amazing full cast recording. I hope you check it out. She's going to be coming out with another one in the same series, hopefully soon.